Hope, let's talk about FANUC's paint robotic lines. Give us a little bit of a broad picture of what you all have that's available to finishers and coders.
So we have an entire tried and true lineup from the smallest robot in our lineup, which is the PaintMate, to our largest general industrial robot being the P250. So we cover all robots in between from small to large, and that fits for every application, every different type of finish or coating. And then in addition to that, we also have our large scale automotive robots as well that are either pedestal or rail mounted. So we have a tried and true over 40 years of experience in the paint world, and our robots have been around for a long time, and we've improved that lineup, and it's tried and true and very, very impressive.
Yeah, it's funny is that I remember the first time I saw your robots. They are scalable, right? You see your big robots that are in the big huge factories or everything, but these
Yeah.
are pretty scalable to a size. They can fit on a floor and they can pretty much maneuver around. They don't need a whole lot of space, do they?
Yeah, we have the small PaintMate, which does really small parts. We paint things like keyboard keys, things like that are just really, really tiny. You don't need a large robot for those sort of applications. And then our P250 is one of our most highly demanded robots, and that can be pedestal mounted, rail mounted, ceiling or invert mounted, and that can do large automotive parts. And then we also have, like I said, the full scale automotive robots. Those are on rails and can do an entire car body. So we kind of have every market, every application covered. We also have the P40, the P50. Those are kind of in the middle there, a step up from the PaintMate, but not quite the size of the 250. And then we also have the 350 as well, which is a little bit larger reach and payload than the 250.
Gotcha. Yeah. Well, let's talk about FABTECH coming up because people going to the show can actually come by, see you've got a couple of or actually tell us what will you have in the booth because people can actually see up close really the size and scale and
Yeah.
all the benefits and features that these robots have. What are you going to have there?
We're very excited in the finishing and coating hall this year because we're going to have a lot more robots than we normally do. Normally, we only bring 1 or 2 robots with us to the show, but we're actually bringing a total of 7 robots with us this year in the FANUC finishing booth. We will have 4 active robot cells, so those will be robots that are performing a demo or an application that you can see. The first one I want to highlight is the P40, like I said, one of the mid-scale robots, and that's going to be highlighting our coordinated motion. So that's actually using an additional FANUC servo that's enclosed in a purge motor box, so it's safe for a paint booth or class 1 div 1 environment. And the robot actually can spin the part that it's coating, and it can cover both sides or all sides of the part, and the robot is controlling that motion. So that's our coordinated motion cell. Then we also have 2 cells that are showcasing another P40 and a PaintMate. They're showcasing different types of conveyors and using FANUC's vision software. So we're using a 3D vision camera to identify part offsets and then using FANUC line tracking software. So we do have the ability to paint parts as they come on a moving conveyor, different types. We can track that as it comes into the robot envelope. So we'll be showing off a few different parts, painting that way. And then our fourth and final demo is the CRX cell. The CRX is actually a newer robot to FANUC. It's one of our collaborative robots. We're really excited about introducing it to paint-related applications. So it's not available to put in a paint booth, but what we're showing is actually it using a paint quality inspection device, and it's going to have a few different panels, test panels, and it's going to be checking the paint quality, and it's an interactive cell, so people will be able to come up and touch the robot, program it, do a few different things. We're really excited to have that in our finishing booth. And then we'll also have our static robot lineup. So we will have the P50, the 250, and the 350, and those will all be dressed out, and people can come in and see kind of how tall they are, what our fluid application equipment looks like, and kind of get a size for or a feel for what the true size and ability of the robots are.
Right. Yeah, the CRX, that's new, right? This is new technology,
Yeah.
it checks quality, correct? Is that what it does?
Yes. So it's a collaborative robot, which is kind of a buzzword in the industry right now, in the entire automation industry. And we're trying to really introduce it to paint and related types of applications. So a lot of people, especially in automotive OEMs or tier 1 OEMs, they need to check the quality, the color, check for orange peel, film build, things like that. So we're really introducing the CRX as having the ability to do that type of inspection with the applicator to measure the quality and things like that.
It's funny. I talked to a lot of applicators, a lot of end users, a lot of finishing shops. As workforce gets tighter, right? It's hard for them to really bring in people to do this. A lot of repetitive work. So
Mm-hmm.
it seems like robotics is a perfect solution for some of that, especially when you want to have repeatable applications time and time again, and
Yes.
also like you said, when it gets tough to go out and hire employees, sometimes they come in and do this. This seems like a very good solution.
Yes. Yes, we're definitely hearing a lot about the labor shortages, kind of end of COVID era, post COVID era. There's been a lot of labor shortages, especially in finishing and coating shops. And we really we hear those concerns from our customers, and we want to introduce more and more solutions to help with those challenges. And in addition to adding the CRX as a quality measurement, we also are, of course, have our paint robots, and those are able to go into small job shops, highly repeatable robots, tried and true. We really like to talk about increasing throughput, quality, addressing those labor shortages, reducing your material usage, things like that. Those are just a plethora of things that can help end users when we're talking about introducing automation.
Right, right, exactly. And I guess let's talk about how their facilities are integrating this into their coding applications, because as they're getting more work from their customers, of course, they want the turnaround time to be much faster and such. How do you
Yeah.
see a lot of these shops integrating this? I guess to really help the increased workload they're getting, and also again to get a very consistent finish every time when they're using.
Yeah. So the robots are very, very repeatable. So as long as you program it and really fine tune your process, once you get it to where you want, you will not have to touch it from there. So your throughput, your quality, it's going to be the same every time, and you can increase that with introducing automation. One thing also is that we are really proud of our color change time. When you introduce a robot, we can do an automatic color change, and we can actually change that in under a minute, and we're always looking to improve that. That's usually a big highlight when we're talking about finishing and coding end users. And then we also have our easy teach tools. We have the CRX programming, like I said, for that type of applications. It's a tablet pendant instead of our traditional pendant, so the programming is icon based. And then in addition to that, we also have the hand guidance, which is something that can be added to the paint robots. So that's within a class 1 div 1 environment. You can actually attach the hand guidance and you can lead through teach the robot. And then our Robo Guide is our PC based simulation software. You can actually do programming offline and not have to stop your line or stop your shop while you're programming your robot. And then later you can upload your programs to the robot, test it out, fine tune it. But the robots are repeatable, repeatable, repeatable. So once you fine tune that process and you utilize all these easy teach tools, it's hands off from there.
Right. Well, it's funny you mentioned quick change under a minute. I don't know how quicker you can get to that, because it's usually a lot longer. When
Yeah.
you're doing it other ways with that. That's pretty good in itself. And
Yes.
and like I said, one of the things is you all are located here in the United States. Your equipment's built here. Very important, and the training that you all provide and the support is very, very important. Especially, I think a lot of facilities learned over the past 3 or 4 years that supply chain overseas, trying to get parts, trying to get
Yes.
equipment is very, very difficult. I mean, that's got to be a huge asset. I know you all just built an additional facility up there, brand new, to
Yes.
do this research, right? And that's got to be something that you guys really want to drive home, is the support. You're here in the U.S., the support that you can offer to your customers.
Yes, all of our paint robots are made here in the United States, in Michigan, Rochester Hills, where I am right now. And in addition to having our robot factory here, we also have our own integration teams. FANUC Paint and Finishing, we divide into two different groups. We have the automotive tier 1 suppliers, and that is one entire group of engineers support. And then I am in the general industrial side, and we have our own group. We have our own engineering, integration, project execution team. That's all here local in Michigan. We also have a research and development team here. We have our 24/7 hotline. We really build our name off of our support for the lifetime of your product. And we've learned all the hard lessons. Over 40 years, we've been making the robots here. We've improved them. Like I said earlier, they're tried and true. We're really, really proud of the brand that we built here and that they're made here in the US.
And I guess, like you said, people showing up to go to the FABTECH show, see your robots, get to talk to you. I know, and a lot of your other team members that are there, and
Yep.
really, it could really speed along this process of integrating these robotics into a facility. You
Yeah.
guys have done this, I know, hundreds of times, so nothing really surprises you, right? Of
Yeah.
what you have to do, and really, like I said, they got to get the ball rolling. To stop and have a visit with you, or visit your website. You guys have a very good website that shows all that.
Well,
But
thank you.
like I said, getting to talk to people at FabTech and letting them see exactly what these machines are, I think, is a true benefit.
Yeah, yes, and we're very excited too. In our booth, we'll also be highlighting the support of our authorized system integrators. So that's a huge part of the general industrial business is that we have a lot of really great partners. That's the equipment suppliers, your paint suppliers, our integrators. These are people who are very experienced, very knowledgeable in the finishing and coating industry, and they can really help prolong the process or expedite the process of integrating
Mhm.
in automation and introducing that to new users and also supporting our experienced automation users.
All right. Well, great. Well, like I said, FabTech coming up soon, and I know you'll be there, and
Yep.
so you should stop by and say hello. I appreciate you taking time out and explaining it all to me.
Thank you so much for having me.